Hey, besties. Welcome back to the Girls That Get It podcast with your hosts, Ken and Han. We're back. Your favorite podcast on the internet is live. We in the stew.
Let me tell you,
Woo!
so many people from my work watch. Like, I've had so many
Really?
people come up to me independently being like, I love your podcast. Like, it's
Oh
so
my
fun.
gosh. Hey, Ken's coworkers
I
or
know.
people she works with. What's
And I
up?
have to give a shout out to Jay because he is part time. So I only see him like a couple times a week. And he is older and he was like, how do I watch your podcast? And I was like, it's on YouTube, Jay. And he
Oh,
was like, I don't have YouTube. But I was like, it's free. It's literally just a website. And I was like, next time I post it, just click the link. And he was like, okay. Because I
oh
guess
my
he's been listening
gosh.
on Spotify because he told
I
me he
mean,
liked it.
Spotify works too, but that's adorable. I love that.
Jay, I love you.
That's how my mom, she used to be a loyal fan, and I don't think she realized that we were back
I don't think my mom
because
listens either.
I was talking to her on the phone
She said,
and
Jen.
she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, like about to film." I think this was last Monday or it
Oh,
might have been
okay.
Sunday, and she was like, "What are you doing this week?" And I told her that we brought it back. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to go make sure like I can see your videos." So she goes on YouTube and she goes, "What's it called again?" And I was like, "It's just Ken and Han is the channel. Get it together." She
He's so
types it in and
sweet.
she goes, "You guys have 300,000 subscribers?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" She was like, "Yes, you do. I'm looking at it right here." And she sends
We
me a
would have a different
screen.
life.
She
Okay.
sends a screenshot of it, and it's like this account called like Ken and something else, and then like our
Oh.
video is right underneath. And so
Mm,
she thought we had 300K, and I was like, "Mom, honestly, the fact that you thought that was us and that we had that
yeah.
many followers,
Love
thank
that.
you."
Thank you for believing in our dreams. But
Literally.
we would live a very different life if that was the case.
Yeah, for sure. We would probably be making a little bit of change from this.
Let's
So
hope. Let's hope.
a little cash, a little pocket cash.
Little manifestation. But tell me about your weekend. What happened?
Honestly, this week was pretty chill compared to recent weeks. I feel like the weeknights were very cash, very chill,
Oh.
which love that. Did my usual routine after work, and that was pretty much it. But
Mhm.
Friday night I went to dinner with one of my coworkers for the
Oh
first time,
yeah.
and she is
Shout out to all the
newer. I know, right? We're
coworkers.
just talking about all of our
Okay.
coworkers. She's newer at my company. She's been there for probably a couple months now. And when she started and I met her, I was like, "Oh, I like this girl. Like she's going to be fun. Maybe we can be friends. If nothing else, like we'll be work buds." And which was true for a while, and then eventually we just made plans to go to dinner. So we went Friday night and got drinks and dinner, and that was a lot of fun. We had so much fun. We literally sat there at the restaurant for 3.5 hours and
Mhm.
just talked
Yeah,
about
you
quite
did.
literally everything. So that was fun. She got me to start watching The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and
How many shows have I told you to freaking
okay, but
watch?
she sees me every day and asks me every single day about it, and it's only one season with like 7 episodes. So she basically bullied me into it. And if she's listening, which I don't even think she knows about the pod, I gotta tell her because I
Yeah,
know
tell
she'd
her to
be a
like and
fan.
subscribe.
But yeah, she pretty much bullied me into it, and I had no other choice unless I wanted to hear her ask me every single day at work. And I was like, I'm just gonna watch it so that you'll leave me alone about it.
I do have a lot of coworkers that are very Real Housewives obsessed, and I have been encouraged to watch. And here's the thing, I would, but it's on another freaking platform, and I
Oh
have
yeah.
too many. Like I,
Yeah, that's true. That's the one downside.
yeah.
I will say I don't know if I can fully get behind the Real Housewives franchise. Like I don't know if I'm going to
Hmm.
watch all the other like Atlanta, this, that. Like I don't know if I can dive that deep. It's pretty entertaining and obviously drama. So it's good, but I don't know that it's hooking me to watch
Oh,
all
I've
the
heard
others.
that franchise is weak in comparison. Just my
Yeah.
take, just what I've heard on the street.
But you
But
think apparently because it originated on Bravo, and like
mhm.
typically Bravo is known to be more like drama and like things like that. So you'd think it'd be
Yes.
good, but I don't know. Anyway, so we talked about that for a long time. We talked about life. It was a lot of fun and good vibes. So that was my Friday night. And then Saturday, honestly, did nothing. I did like errands and stuff and just like had a me day. It was very chill, very fun. Went to a coffee shop, planned my meals for the week, did like all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I did a little bit of shopping, got some bed pillows, got
I never
some
got a
clothes.
haul of the clothes.
Oh yeah. I meant to film.
Oh yeah.
I meant to film that for TikTok and I forgot. So maybe I'll show you
Run this after this. Yeah.
after this pod.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went did a little bit of shopping, and then Sunday I kept it pretty chill again, and then Sunday night I went and saw The Devil Wears Prada 2 with some of my friends. And that really concludes my week TBH, which leads me into my next point, or my next 2 points, which is how was your week for one, and then for two, we need to talk about The Devil Wears Prada 2.
We do need to talk about The Devil Wears Prada too. My week was great. I had a good week. I feel like the first half of the week was kind of a slow start. Like Tuesday, Wednesday for me, work was work, all the things. I was really happy because how I gauge if I had a great week not is how often do I come home and work. And so the only day I came home and worked was Friday and Saturday. Friday was just a little bit. Saturday was a decent amount. So to have 2 of my 5 days of work, or no, 3 of my 5 days of work not working at home, fabulous.
That's nice.
Left on time, which is great. And I have some fun projects right now. So that's one thing. Even when I was working at home on Friday, I was like, this is fun because I'm loving what I'm doing.
That helps.
Kind of reminiscent of last week's pod. If you didn't watch it, you should. But then I also went to go see The Devil Wears Prada 2. I think it was Thursday night. I went, got a little popcorn, had a little slushy.
I wanted a slushy so bad, and their slushy machine was broken. So
I feel like you shouldn't be open if that's
right.
the case.
That's like half the reason that I'm here.
Yeah. I do love movie theater snacks, but I went this week. Colton also just went yesterday as well. And we can fully debrief if you want.
Yeah, what were your thoughts? When was the last time you watched the first movie? Because I watched the first movie. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I watched the first movie literally Friday night, and then I watched the second one. I rewatched it Friday night, and then I watched the second one obviously 2 days later so that it would be fresh.
I've watched it in like the last month. Like I saw it because I think it's on Hulu right now.
Yeah.
And I knew the second one's coming. I was like, let me give this a fresh.
So you've seen it recently.
Yeah.
So you remember like the plot and all that.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the second one?
I thought it had a slow start. Like they had to do a lot of building in terms of like how are things current? How are they picking up where they left off? But I thought the last like 45 minutes was really, really, really great. I think there was a lot of things they did better in the second than the first, but I mean, nothing beats the first. Like,
I know.
Nothing.
It's so hard with
Nothing beats the
any
first.
movie. It's so hard to make a second one that's as good as the first one. So,
but I thought for sequels, for something as iconic as this, like I was impressed by it. Colton said he wasn't.
See, I was gonna say a lot of people I've seen on TikTok say that they were disappointed, but I thought it was good and I really liked it and I loved the ending. I thought like it was so full circle and like they wrapped it up in a nice little bow, and it wasn't like I didn't leave feeling like, oh, I wish they did this or I wish they did that.
Yeah, I thought for me, where I knew that it was gonna like that I was satisfied with it was the scene of Meryl and Anne in the car driving back from the divorcee's house being like, we did it, we saved it, and they kind of have that heart to heart. And for a second you see them like kind of drop their guards.
Yes.
And then Meryl's like, I know about the book.
And she tells her to write it anyway.
She tells her to write it anyway, and then she kind of always keeps her like on her toes. Like she doesn't fully go into like we're gonna be peers now,
Mm-hmm.
you still have to respect me. And I was like, oh, I fucks with that. Like,
Yeah,
I like
that
how you
scene
had the
was
soft and then you went back to the hard. Yeah.
that scene was really good, and I feel like
Yeah.
was like a shift for them as like a duo.
Totally.
So no, yeah, it was so good, and I just don't understand how. And I get like makeup, potentially Botox, and all of this is a factor, but like it's been 20 years, and obviously they both look older than they did 20 years ago, but they both look so good still. I'm like,
The whole cast
dang,
looked really good.
yeah, crazy.
Oh,
I would love to age like that.
yeah, definitely goals. I also thought, and it's probably just because it's current, I liked the fashion more in this movie than
Mm-hmm.
the first one. Probably just because, like, obviously it was early
Yeah, early
2000s
2000s back then. Yeah.
when that came out, so I don't have the same opinion, but I thought it was good. Everyone is saying online that Emily Blunt carried that movie. I don't know if I personally feel that way,
I don't think I feel
but
that way.
yeah,
I don't think I
that
feel that way. But I thought too, one thing that I noticed was at that birthday party for that guy who was turning 75, I can't remember his name.
yes,
There were a lot of like little cameos
there's a
of
lot of
like
cameos.
famous people, random people. Obviously Lady Gaga had her whole moment, but there was like
Yeah,
Heidi Klum, I think, was like a little in the background, and there was like various and then I was like, oh, Carl Anthony Towns was in it. I was just like,
I
wait,
was
what are
gonna
these people
say
doing here?
the one that I'm sad I missed, because now that I've seen it, I'm getting the TikToks of like, here's the cameos you missed, and
Yeah.
I totally missed the Roy McIlroy one, and it was at
Oh,
that party, and him and his
I'm
wife made a cameo, and I missed it, and
I missed it too. This is the first time I'm hearing about that.
well, why he got asked to be in it was he won, I think it was like the Open this year, one
Mm-hmm.
of the majors, um and he had like a rough day before the final round, and they interviewed him after he won, and they were like, what did you do to like get your mind right for the final day? And he's like, I went home and I popped a little bit of The Devil Wears Prada in, and like I think he meant like he was serious about that.
That's so funny.
And then I guess when they were filming the second one, he got a call and they're like, would you like to do a cameo? And he was like, well, could I bring my wife?
He's like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I completely missed that too. I'll have to watch it when it's on streaming and try to catch that next time.
Yeah. I thought it was good.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I would definitely watch it again when it comes on streaming, and I thought they all did really good. So I didn't have any complaints at all. Truthfully, I thought it was great.
No, me too. There's a couple other movies out right now that I want to go see, so we'll keep you guys updated on the movie reviews.
Yeah.
That was Thursday of my week, and then I don't have a whole else lot to add. I would say I worked Friday, Saturday. Saturday at work was crazy. I'm done. Wait, I've talked about this a little bit where I work.
The prom people?
Yes. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh,
like,
how did I know that's what you were going to say?
I try to think back to when we were going to prom and how we behaved.
Yeah.
And obviously there's like a lot of planning that goes into it because you're typically in like a larger group. And I remember one year we took pictures like in this park that was like in someone's neighborhood. It was very like private, not disrupting anything. And then the next year we took photos at someone's house. And then the one year I was in a big group, we like coordinated a dinner, like, and a drop off and a this, like, it was very like organized and scheduled. I don't like, I've never met more entitled kids in my life than the people that come to where I work. And it's not like one type of person, it's not one group of people, it's not one school of kids. It's like every single weekend you're
There's
like
new people coming in and they're all acting like
yeah, it's from all the different schools and all the different areas close by, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, our parking lot fills up, so we have to start telling people, like, if you do not have a reservation,
you can't park here.
You can't park. Like, you'll have to keep like circling or go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And like, it's one of those things that it happens towards the end of the day too, because they all start to arrive around between 4 and 6. And that's when our team kind of starts to leave. We have a group that leaves at 4 and a group that leaves at 6 and then a group that leaves at 7. And it's like we almost have to change how we do our staffing, and we don't proactively do it, which is silly. This is the third year this has happened.
Yeah.
And then what else happens? Oh, like the only way that this could be better than how we currently have it is to either A, charge, and you have a ticketed time slot, but then you have to have someone to run that.
To run it, I was about to say, someone to
And
coordinate all that.
to coordinate all that. And then 2, and this is what I'm more in favor of, is just have a no tolerance policy of no photography.
Yeah, you can't. Unless you're here for an appointment and you need to take a picture of a sofa. Right. Otherwise, randos from the street can't just come in here and use this as a backdrop.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, but I'm not the CEO or owner of this house, so I can't.
I'm not the owner of this house, unfortunately.
I can't make those rules.
But it's something that for probably about 2 months straight, our whole team is just like really put through it, and it's unfortunate because our productivity really stops at 4 p.m. to 3 p.m. Yeah. So it's not a fun way, because for me Saturdays are my Fridays, so it's not the most fun way to end the week. Yeah. And it's also one of those things too, like this could be a whole nother topic on a different day, but like kids these days, like I was not raised to speak to people the way that people speak to people of authority. It is crazy. Like there might be a couple of things that I chose to rebel about, but I pretty early, like I think at 14 I started working, and it's like at some point it just clicked on me, like this is someone's job, like I shouldn't asked to do something. Yeah, I shouldn't put them in a bad position. I shouldn't be rude. So there was that. I feel like
I'm not around younger kids like that a lot these days, but if and when I am, or if I'm like in public and I see a group of like teenagers, I feel like I do notice that like they act completely different than how I feel like we acted when we were teenagers. But yeah, to your point, that's a whole nother combo for another day.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad someone else just sees it, even if it's in a different light. Yeah. And then of course with it being Mother's Day weekend, and then some graduations were this weekend, it was just a busy time. Yeah. So I was thankful to be off Sunday, Monday. I had a very relaxing couple of days.
That's good.
Did a lot of pop booping, so I forgot some of it for later.
I forgot one thing that could be on both of our lists for a weekly recap. It's actually probably more so on your list than mine, but it's technically both. But we confirmed and planned and set in stone for Kenna to come visit next weekend.
Yes, I didn't know when we were going to bring that up.
Oh, we're bringing it up now.
Bringing it up now.
Because the next episode we film will be together.
I know, so stay tuned. Maybe we'll do something crazy. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I'm excited.
I know. We had planned this a long time ago, just because really more so you and your PTO, you've got limited time that you can take off, and I have a lot of PTO at this point, just because I've been able to accrue a lot. So we had planned this, but then I've got a lot of kind of moving parts going on behind the scenes, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to go or if it would be smart to go, and I just said fuck it.
Screw it, let's do it.
I don't care. Not that I don't care, but like
you figure you might as well
I've done the
little.
best I could to accommodate everything else going on in my life, and so I can't just completely stop everything.
For sure.
So yeah, on yesterday, Sunday, I booked my flight. Flights prices were the exact same.
That's crazy, because I really thought it would be like way more, which I don't know if that's a tell to it being really expensive through however many months ago when you were looking. Yeah. Or if it's just, I don't really know.
I know. Well, what my mom brought up, because we're kind of planning a family trip for a little later this year, part of it probably has to do with freaking gas prices and that whole nonsense.
Yep.
Because I just filled up my car today and I spent about $20 more than I usually do.
Same. I did that yesterday and I was like, wow, okay, that was fun. You're probably right. At least it wasn't more, I guess, than it was.
But to your point, yeah, I feel like a month ago we weren't in the same exact state of the union that we are now. So, I'm thankful it wasn't more, because that was one thing before I even said I was going to go. I was like, let me make sure this isn't like $1,000.
$1 million. Yeah, for sure.
And it was the same price. So I was like, yo, as long as it stays the same.
I guess, yeah.
I do think it's whack that it's more than my Denver ticket.
How is that? We're both on the East Coast, basically.
We're a lot closer.
That's dumb. I don't understand that.
My question's too American. Figure it out.
Literally, I have beef with Americans sometimes. I mean, sometimes they're fine, and then other times I'm like, ugh. But no, I'm very excited for you to come. We are gonna do all the fun things. Of course, we'll recap the whole situation on next week's episode. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we've already started planning a few things that we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Did we do that one thing?
Did we do what one thing?
Did you get that one reservation?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
8:30 on the patio.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, that really I think concludes our weekly recap. Shall we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode?
I love that we've just started to. Let's permanently call it the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Gotta get that protein.
Facts,
Right?
facts. Get your protein in, folks, and your fiber. Don't forget about the fiber.
Oh, thank you for the fiber
Don't forget about
reminder.
the fiber. What's our main topic this week, Ken? Tell the
Okay,
fans.
so we didn't mean to have 2 serious episodes back to back, but it's just kind of where the dice rolled. We were thinking about things that had resonated with you guys in the past, and we decided to focus this week on things we learned in our 20s.
Yes.
And we were going to do like 2 segments, but we each came up with 5 things we learned in our 20s, and we just feel like there's going to be enough, again, meat and potatoes,
right,
that we scrapped the other idea. So get a snack, get a little sweet treat. We're talking to our peers here. We're talking to anyone that might be getting ready to enter this next phase of their life, your 20s.
For sure. Okay. Do you want me to start? Or do you
yeah,
want to
why
start?
not? You go first.
You want me to start? Okay. First thing that I wrote down, and now I'm thinking that I might actually no, I'll start with this one. This will ease us into it. And this one might be obvious, but I don't think I realized. And for reference, I'm 26. Kenna's 27. Why am I thinking about that Kendall Jenner and Kylie sound? Which is like, I'm 27 or I'm 25. You're 30, and she's like, Kylie, I'm 27 or whatever. Yeah, I'm 26. I almost just said Kendall is 27. What the hell? Kenna is 27. I'm 26. So we're in our mid 20s. I guess
I'm officially late 20s.
Yeah, mid to late. Yikes. Anyway,
enough of that.
Things we learned in our 20s. Okay, so first thing, I feel like this is something that I did not realize until honestly more recently, but it's that your 20s, and this might seem obvious, but you're not supposed to have, like, your 20s is not the time where, okay, you're going to have your entire life figured out. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you're younger in high school, even in college, you think, or at least I did, think that like, okay, this is going to be what my life looks like in my 20s. I'm going to have XYZ figured out by then, and like I'll be on my shit. I'll know exactly who I am, exactly what I want to do. I'll have everything figured out, but that's just not the case at all. Mm-hmm. And I feel like some people think that when you graduate college and you become a real adult, that like that's it, and it's like you're supposed to know everything by then. But I feel like your 20s is really your time to like build and grow and like figure out what you actually like as an adult who is not in college and surrounded by college people and in that college bubble, because it really is a bubble. So that's like my first main point.
Well, I'll jump in because
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on that?
That's basically my first point. I said, these are not our years. Speaking of
facts, Kendall, these are not our years.
Yeah. And then beside it, I wrote play the long game. I too, and it was more so when I was younger, like thinking of like, if you asked me in elementary school, someone that's 27 is old. Like I thought I would, if you would have asked kindergarten Kenna, I would have thought I would have been married and have kids and like I'm super quote unquote settled in life. But to Hannah's point, like whether it was in college or in high school, as I've gotten older, you just quickly realize that's just not the case. Like it's definitely still figuring it out. And I think it's easy, especially with social media, to like look around and be so comparative of what everyone's doing. But this is kind of the years where everything gets a little messy before it evens out. If you've listened to Mel Robbins' podcast, she has this like theory of like, this is after college is essentially the great divide, is everyone, some people move back home, some people move away, some people, you know, dive fully into a career, some people get married and have kids. Like, it's truly where everything feels so drastically different from your counterparts. And as someone that has, I would say most of my friends are like a little bit older. I'd say most of my friends are like 29 to 30, so at least 2 years ahead of me. They're all saying now that as they get a little bit more into their 30s, they're like, kind of the 30s are where they're at. Like, you get to have the fun that you thought you were going to have in your 20s,
but in
with
your
the
30s.
Stability and the money and the comfortability and confidence.
That's why people say
In your
30s
30s
is the new 20s, which is what we were talking about when we were walking in that park in New York City 3 months ago.
I swear I started that saying, and I've seen so many more people say it now, and I just want to coin that I started that shit.
No, it's so true. And to your point that your friends are saying that like your 30s is the time you get to do all the things that you thought you would do in your 20s, but with more stability. I feel like I've always been nervous as a college person and like young 20s person to reach my 30s, because you're like 30 is so old, like what the heck. But now that I'm 26, obviously like I'm enjoying this age and this phase of life for what it is, but I'm kind of excited to be in my 30s and like see what that chapter has, because I feel like it's going to be so different in such like a good way that it's just not going to be what I expected 30s to be. So that's why I'm agreeing 30s is, I hope, is going to be the new 20s.
30s are the new 20s. And then kind of playing off of that, like 10 years is a long time to think 20 to what will be 29. Like, who I was at 21, 22, 23 is a whole lot different between 24, 25, 26. And now going into the last 3 years, it's like, there's a lot of stages even within that. So none of them have to be exactly what they are. And then kind of the last thing I'll say on this topic is, for me, it does kind of still give me a push sometimes, of like, it's okay to mess up. It's okay to go out and have a fun night. It's okay to be a little silly.
For sure.
This is when I'm supposed to be figuring it out.
Yeah. And it's not that your 20s are not supposed to be, not that you can't have a plan and like do things to set yourself up for success, but like you're supposed to be having a silly, goofy mood of a time. And like, it's fine if you have a crazy night or you do something stupid or whatever, because you're only going to be in your 20s once.
Yeah.
So you might as well live it up while you can.
Totally.
Cool. Okay.
We're so aligned.
Good start. I know. Look at us. The first one on both of our lists was basically the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's shift a little bit. My second point, and I feel like this will definitely resonate.
Are we just going to be so in sync because
that they're all the same?
I'm kind of thinking what you're about to say is my number 2 too.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we that check aligned?
I feel like we might be.
Okay, let's see. I wrote down a very short bullet, which can be elaborated on, but I wrote down privacy equals peace. Clip that. Editor, clip that. I just think that's so true. I feel like when you're in college, at least in our day and age, which makes it sound ancient, but like in 2018, 19, 2020, like those years, I feel like you were posting on Instagram left and right. You go to a party, post. You wear a new outfit, post. You go to the mall, post. You go to the pool, post. Like everything.
Accomplishment, post. Sad day, post.
Everything post. Boyfriend here, girlfriend there, best friends here, dogs there. Like everything is on Instagram. I'm just thinking like, what type of stuff would we be posting? But I feel like it was such a thing to post. And while I still participate in a good Insta story or a good whatever every now and then, I do feel like, and not even in social media in particular, but just in life, I feel like the more private you keep things, and I don't mean secret, because there's a difference between secret and private.
Yeah.
I feel like the more private you keep things, the more just like peace and good energy you will find.
Period.
Not everybody needs to know everything. Like,
yeah.
Not everybody needs to know everything. And that doesn't mean, like I said, to hide things or keep things a secret or be moving like in a weird silent way that like is sketchy. But Kenna's like, well, I might disagree on that. But
no. I was just like, yeah, there was a time where I did
but
that for sure.
I do think that, like, and I know saying protecting your peace is so like
limit the outside
not new,
noise. Yeah.
but yes, for sure. I think that that's like something that I have definitely learned, and the less I've shared, the more happy and like not bothered I am.
100%. I could not agree more. Yeah, I don't know when that light bulb went off. It might have actually been through the time of working. I work for a brand that kind of believes privacy is the ultimate luxury.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's true.
Yeah, the social media presence almost went silent there during that time, because it's like, yeah, why would I share this with anyone? You don't know me. You don't.
Yeah.
It's not. I didn't feel that need to always be keeping up an image of like, this is who I am and what I'm doing. Yeah, 100%. And I think when I was young too, I was always looking for someone to listen on that note of like, I gotta tell someone what happened. I gotta tell, someone has to know how shitty my day was, or someone has to know like I hit this big milestone. And there's many things that happen that I don't tell someone about until like a couple weeks, maybe a month later sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because you've got to learn to keep your own stuff.
For sure. And I feel like I've noticed this phenomenon also when it comes to like relationships. I feel like when I was maybe in relationships in college, I would be very quick to just tell any of my friends any and everything about my relationship, whether that be good, bad, sad, happy, whatever various details about my relationship. If I thought about it, I would say it out loud. And I'm like, not every person on the entire planet needs to know the inner thoughts and workings of my relationship. Granted, like I still will share things with people that are close to me, like my family and my friends, whatever, but I'm not just going around blabbing like, oh, he pissed me off this time, or oh, we had this special moment together, or oh, telling everyone everything, because it's just like some things are better kept between a select number of people.
Totally. And that's how you prevent. I felt like a lot of, and this is speaking from our experiences a little bit, is like when we had boyfriends in the past, if something bad happened, like we would tell everyone that we know, and it's like, that's why people hate your fucking boyfriend.
Literally. Like, we don't need to be sending screenshots of every argument. We don't need to be like telling every single detail of every bad thing that happened, because to your point, like, that's not going to do anything other than paint a bad picture.
Yeah.
And obviously, if certain things happen where you need to lean on your friend and let them know that this happened and really get their advice, then that's a different story. And if there's a valid reason for your friend to dislike your boyfriend or girlfriend because they're doing something that's a safety concern, or they're cheating or doing something crazy, that's a whole different story. But like the small little arguments that come up here and there, like I feel like in the past I would have probably definitely told my like top 3 best friends. I mean, like, guess what happened? He said this, he said that. And I'm like, nowadays it's just not worth it to be sharing all of those details, because you don't need to be painting that person in a bad light if it's just normal everyday things.
No, and at least for me, there's very few people's opinion that I care about at this point. Like,
yeah,
I wanted, and maybe it was more so to be seen or heard, because I don't know if I ever really cared about everyone's opinions to begin with. Part of me thinks I did. Part of me was like, oh, what would you do? Like, yeah. And then of course, when you wouldn't get the answer you wanted, you still did what
you're like, oh, never mind. I'm actually gonna do what I want to do around and find out. So true.
But yeah, that now I think that's not to segue, and it's not even a point, but like, yeah, I care a lot more now what you and Abby and Maddie and Addie think. So like, of course I'd be honest if like things weren't perfect, but
For
I'm
sure.
not gonna always be like, well, X, Y, and Z happened. I'm just gonna be like, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
And do you like him? Do you like there's a little bit more severeness. Like there's been a couple friends in my life that organically or sometimes intentionally, like I have met their significant other kind of as things have been getting serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like never unless I really thought like to your point for like your well-being it wasn't right. Like
Mm-hmm.
it, it's so impactful to be part of those moments. Like that's your inner
Definitely.
circle. Like I'm thinking of like two people in particular, and it's like, yeah, that means a lot more. And when I was younger, I'd want everyone and their brother to love
To know,
them.
yeah, exactly. No, I think that there is something very powerful in privacy, so that's really all that I have to say on that. I think it's very important, and I didn't really
Yeah.
realize that until my middle years of my 20s.
Yeah, aligned. My next one is the sooner you can learn to enjoy your alone time, the better.
Mhm. Mhm.
And part of that stems from you talked a little bit about how like the change of college environment is very different.
Mhm.
And like even as someone that went to like a non-conventional school, just even taking classes with even like 15 to 30 people, like you're around a lot more people than you will be as an adult.
Yeah.
And you've got to learn to be good with the quiet. Like, can you go home and not call someone? Can you go home and not text someone? Can you go home and not have plans and like be alone with your thoughts and, process things, get through things, not wallow in things? um I truly think it's one of my greatest superpowers is there's not many things I would be uncomfortable doing alone.
Mhm.
Where I know many people, whether it's they're single in a relationship or whatever, they can't do something without a friend or a significant other. And it kind of makes me sad. And I think this time in your life is for figuring that out. And that doesn't mean you necessarily have to be single. It's just like, can you
Be
spend
alone and
time? Yeah.
enjoy your own company.
Can you
Yeah.
be alone with your thoughts? Like,
Yeah, some people need constant
mm-hmm.
stimulation, whether it's like a YouTube video, music, a person speaking to somebody, hanging out with somebody, or like it needs their entire weekend from Friday night at 5 p.m. to Sunday at 7 p.m. be filled with go see this person, go to lunch with that person, go out with this person, go to the pool with these
Yes.
friends. And it's just like, that's great to have a social life and have friends that you want to spend your time with. But I totally agree. Like, you definitely need to get comfortable like just being by yourself, because at the end of the day that's really all you got. I mean,
Right. And I
you know what I mean though.
right. Well, that was going to be kind of the thing on my list is I think that for me and it came with living alone and I know not
Mm-hmm.
everyone's able to do that, but if you are, like I highly recommend it even if it's for like a shorter period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because yeah, that's when you really get to process and hold yourself accountable of the freedom, the alone time.
For sure.
It also makes you know what you like there was a long time when I first moved to Denver and I was you know employed but I hadn't built this like community there yet. I'd maybe have plans like once every other week with people and it's like okay on the week I don't have plans like what am I gonna
What are we gonna
do
do? Yeah,
and how are you like don't just sit at home and waste your day.
for sure. No, I totally agree, and I feel like I was in the same boat when I first moved to Charlotte. I did not know that many people, and there were plenty of weeks where I didn't do any social anything.
Yeah.
So I, like you said, had to figure out like what I like to do. I would go get lunch by myself and like go make
Mhm.
myself do things that I still wanted to do, even if I didn't have somebody to do it with me, because like we should still be able to live our lives and do what we want to do, even if that means going solo sometimes.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. I think that's a great one.
Thank yous.
Okay. My next one kind of ties back into the first one about not having everything figured out. But this one's a little bit more specific in that things will not go as planned in your 20s, like at all. And if they do, let me know who you are and like how you made that happen.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, if you would have asked me at 19, what are your 20s going to look like, Hannah? What are you going to do by the time you're 22, by the time you're 26, by the time you're 29? I would have told you that I would have been at least engaged by this point in my life, if not married. Probably maybe not married, but like definitely engaged. And in case you guys didn't know, I'm not. Which that's totally fine and I don't want or need to be, but my perception of what my 20s were going to be when I was 19 is so different than what it actually is. And that's just something that I didn't realize until I went through it and understood that like you can have a plan, but things are going to change because you're growing, you're changing. What you like changes, what you don't like changes, and like people are going to come in and out of your life, and it's just not all going to be smooth sailing with your like check boxes for your exact timeline that you have in your head.
100%.
And being okay with that, I feel like, is an important thing to come to terms with and accept that like you can have a general idea or goals. You can have goals, but thinking that it's going to go exactly one way is just not realistic. At least for me, that's not how it panned out for me.
That I think that's fair. I don't know when it happened, but there was a time where the decisions started to be like, well, if this happens, then this, and you kind of have to have the ifs and the then, and then the ifs and the then, and it's never just one. You at least have a couple backup plans, and then there's also some things you learn to not bank on because realistically and statistically speaking, it's not going to happen. At least,
for sure,
typically not the first time. So yeah, I'm 100% aligned with that.
And like you also some of the things that happen that you don't plan on happening end up being some of the best things. Like
totally, you gotta flex. And
I remember when I transferred to NC State for various reasons, I ended up really being happy that I did that, even though the reason that I initially did that for did not go as planned.
Yeah.
It still ended up being like one of the best, better times of my early 20s. And like I wouldn't change a thing. So it's just like being flexible and going with the flow and understanding that like one decision might lead to another is just something that I realized and like had to come to terms with.
Yeah, so true. Get out of your head and start living. My next one is it all adds up. I kind of meant this in terms of like self-care and health purposes. I think it's easy when you're young, you have the freedom to like eat whatever you want, not work out. I know for me, when I was in really my whole life living at home, my days were very structured. I was a very active kid. So like I didn't have to have designated time to be active because it just simply was what's happening. And I learned quickly in college. I was like, oh, I went from moving my body and exercising super often to like, oh no, I have to like plan a time to do this.
You have to be intentional about doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then even learning like how to go to the gym, because how I was working out when I was in high school was extracurriculars and sports and dance and like things that someone was guiding me through what to do. So my body was just following instructions where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm at the gym, but like, what do I do?
What do I do? How do I know what to do? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Progress is not seen overnight. And it's one of those things as like my health has fluctuated over the time. And I'm at a place where I've learned how to work to get back to where I want to be. But if someone would have told me like as soon as you lose the progress, it is like this huge uphill battle to get back to where you were, I think I would have taken things more seriously. I just thought like I'm young, I have a good metabolism, I'm gonna keep doing and eating and live my life super fun. And then you wake up one day and you're like, oh, how did we get here?
Yep. That's
part of that is being in your 20s. Like that's again what this time is about. Like we can bounce back, but I just wish I saw the bigger picture on that sooner, and I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. No, that is exactly my next point. So I'm going to bring it up and then we can continue the conversation.
Yeah.
But my next point is that change is inevitable.
Mm.
And I was kind of looking at that through a couple different lenses. One of them being like the conversation that we've had recently about like our bodies change so much in your mid to late or maybe even sooner 20s. And I just had to understand that like I'm not 18 anymore. I'm not quite literally an adolescent. Like I am a grown adult, a grown woman, and a grown woman body is going to look different than a teenager body. And like it's just realizing and like being okay with the fact that like yes, you should and can do everything to keep your health and wellness at a good level. Like of course you can eat the good foods. Of course you can get movement, get your steps in, go take a Pilates class, go work out and do your whatever workout that works for you. But even in doing all those things, your body's naturally going to change as you get older. And that's just the truth. And I feel like sometimes as girls, because we have so many things around us saying that, like, you need to look like this, you need to feel like this, you need to have all these things figured out and keep up your physical like image throughout all these years, it's just not realistic and things are going to change. And being okay with like the new normal, I feel like is kind of hard to go through, but it's also like important to know that you should probably you're not probably but like you should be thankful for the body that you have and what it can do instead of like talking negatively about it, which I know is something that I've struggled with as I've gotten older and like look different than I did when I was 18 years old.
I would say something that we still do and we're working on it is when we go back and like look at more so memories. We're not going to study our bodies, but we end up doing that. Like a picture that stands out to me is we have a picture that we took in Denver when you came to visit me.
Is it the mirror picture?
Yeah, it was the mirror
I know
picture.
exactly which picture you're talking about.
And I remember at the time both of us being like, we don't look good. And when we now look back at that picture, 3 years ago, we're like, holy shit. Like,
I wish I could slap those girls in the face.
Yeah, like I can't believe like we were so fit, we were so toned, and we didn't even know.
I know.
And it's how I even think about myself now. Like, you're gonna look back in 5 years and think you were the hottest piece of ass you've ever fucking seen.
Literally. So, like, meanwhile,
get some confidence and get the fuck out there.
Yes, that is so freaking true. And like, I know we've had this conversation so many times, but it is so true. When you look at old pictures of yourself and you think like, oh my gosh, I look so good. But then you think back to you in that moment and you were like, oh, I look gross. Oh, I look ugly. Oh, I look this. Oh, I look that. And it's like, no. You don't. Nobody else is thinking that. I promise if somebody is looking at you right now, they are not thinking, oh, she looks like that or she looks like this. And if they are, they're a terrible person and they shouldn't be in your life. But like no one other than you is looking at the tiny imperfections, the like one roll in your stomach, the whatever it is. Like
the roll that happens because you sat down and you have, God forbid, some skin. God forbid.
Literally, like nobody looks like a Barbie doll all the time, and if they do, then it's probably not natural. Let's just be honest and real. So yeah, don't compare yourself to your old photos. Don't compare yourself to an old version of yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people because it's just comparison is a thief of joy, and you will not be joyful if you just spend your time on earth comparing. Not to say you can't have goals, but like there's a fine line. There's a fine line.
Well, and think about yourself from like your best friend's lens. Like when I think about you and your looks over time, I've never once thought you were ugly.
For sure.
And if I did, I would definitely fucking let you know.
Imagine you'd be like, hey, bestie, so I just wanted to let you know that you kind of look chopped lately.
Like, guess it came off rough. But like, think about it.
I know what you mean.
You're close enough with your best friend. and you probably like worship the ground she walks on, thinking they're like so stunningly beautiful, gorgeous, like they have good outfits that they look great in, like that you hype them up in, like
Mm-hmm.
they do this one hairstyle that you just really are like, you love that person. Like, why don't you feel that way
About
about
yourself.
yourself? So the
For
sooner you can
sure.
find that within you, doesn't mean you won't have bad days.
For sure.
But like there's days where I'll be like walking past the mirror and I'm like, yikes. But I try to turn around of like, okay, maybe this isn't my favorite outfit or whatever I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, but your hair looks like there's other things like, you know, it's not,
Yeah.
we're
And
not
it's
perfect.
no, and it's normal to have days where you just feel blah altogether and you are just having like a bad day. So that's going to happen. And that's eventually, like with time, you learn how to get through that and come out on the other side. But for sure, definitely in your 20s, it's so easy to pick yourself apart and be like, I don't look like this anymore. I don't feel like this anymore. I don't do the same things anymore. But like, that's
Yeah.
all part of maturing, growing up, and changing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just, yeah, change is inevitable. And understanding that and being okay with it is going to be your best friend.
Totally. My next topic is find your people and have a small circle.
That's really good. I should have wrote that down, but I didn't. That's good though.
It kind of reminds me of your first or your protect your peace
Mm-hmm.
or whatever yours
Mm-hmm.
one about that. Just because I for so long cared too much about what other people thought or maybe didn't truly understand myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so always was like looking for validation in others of like how many compliments did I get, or like I've never had this like crazy big friend group. Sure, I know a lot of people who want to get into that conversation again. But it's like, you know, there's many times in my 20s I've like felt alone, and it's
Mm-hmm.
been the few really solid core people that's been here, whether through it or some of my closest friends I've met on the recent side of my life, is like, you know, find those people that you can trust and really lean into it. Don't keep searching for more and more and more, because one, as I've kind of found, especially as someone that like lives away from pretty much all of their friends, is like
Mm-hmm.
you can't give the time that a friendship needs, even a really strong one, if you've got so many like pots you're trying to fill. um and like you just need a couple good ones. You don't need this big army of people. I'd say find your like five people and like see them on a semi regular basis.
For sure. I could not agree with that more. I feel the same, and that I've never really had like a huge friend group. I think that in college, you could say I had a couple friend groups here and there, but even that was like a small group of like three,
Yeah.
maybe four people. I've never had a group of 12 girls where we all do everything together and we all go here and go to this lunch and then all go here and go on this vacation and then all go back home and we're there, we are again together. Like, it's not, I've never had that either, which I feel like is one of the reasons why you and I like just work well as friends, is because we both kind of value quality over
Over
quantity.
quantity.
um so I couldn't agree more. And I mean, if you have 20 friends that you go and do the same stuff with every single weekend, props to you, because I don't even know 20 people in the same town that I
Oh,
could call and like hang out with. Like
oh,
I I could
yeah,
name 20 people that I know, but I don't know 20 people that in my town I would call and have a conversation with about like,
yeah,
how was your day? How are you? Like, I just don't. And I feel like all the like movies and TV shows and like college years that portray having a huge friend group of 20 people, it's just not always
yeah.
realistic for everybody. So if you
No,
don't have that, you're definitely not alone and you're not the only one.
no. I
And
have
I
two.
personally would rather have one good friend than 50 fake friends.
I know, and I don't think when I was younger I always saw that. Um,
For sure.
the two other things I wanted to kind of say on this topic is your longest friend isn't always your best friend. And sometimes it does work out that way because they've been through things. But I think there was a period where I hung on to people because it had just been that way for so long.
Mm.
Or like we said one day in high school that we were going to be best friends forever. And like when you
Mm-hmm.
really look at it of like, no, we're not.
That's yeah. You don't have to
And
stay friends with somebody just because you've known them for
right, the
X amount of
public might think
years.
that, the public,
The public.
but like distance is good. And then it's okay for friendships to look different. I think that's another reason you and I have stayed such good friends is it's evolved a lot with us. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
there's been times where that's happened really organically, and there's times where that hasn't happened really organically. But you've got to be able to have those conversations with your
Mm-hmm.
friends of like, hey, right now I'm giving a lot to X, Y, and Z. So like it's gonna look different from me. Like what I can share and what I can give isn't gonna be what it once was. And then back to like the whole emphasis of transitioning away from college is like, yeah, you're just going to see people less.
Yeah, that's just how life works when you're not in the same classes with the same people all day, every day with all this free time after.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I could not agree more with that point. Okay, my last one, and this one isn't very revolutionary by any means, and it, in a way, in a roundabout way, it kind of touches on a few of the other things that we have talked about, but it's that everybody has a different path.
Mm.
So, one person who's 23 years old who just got their first corporate job and is making however much dollars, and the other person over here just finished school at 23 years old and they're looking for a
Mm-hmm.
job and they don't quite know what they're going to do yet, and this person over here is doing whatever that might be. Everybody has a different path, and like understanding that there's no exact formula that you need to follow in your 20s in order to be quote unquote successful or quote unquote doing the right thing. Understanding that is so important because this kind of goes back to the comparison. If
Mm-hmm.
you compare your plan and your path to somebody else's, you're just going to spiral and think like, what am I doing wrong? Why did
Yeah.
they get to have this and not me? Sometimes it happens later for you, sometimes it happens earlier for you, and understanding that like your friends and your peers and people who you went to high school with, like you guys might not be on the exact same trajectory, and that is okay and
Yeah,
totally normal.
totally. I don't know when it clicked, but as soon as I was able to see, friends engaged, friends having
I was
babies,
gonna bring that up. Yeah.
and and not and I don't really have a distinct memory of being like, oh, that should be me, but not being upset by it of like I'm losing a friend or things are gonna change, and really just be like more so very content that that isn't me.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course very happy for them. Like again, life got better because I wasn't comparing all the time.
Exactly. We were quite literally just talking about this yesterday or today or maybe both,
Both.
about how like people we're at that age where people are getting engaged, people are moving in with their significant others, people are getting married, people are having kids, people are
Babies.
doing all these things, people are changing careers, people are getting promotions, people are whatever that might be for them. And we were just talking about how like, wow, like that couldn't be more different from where we are
No, thank you.
right now. And that doesn't mean that one way is correct and one way is better than the other. It just means that they're different, and like somebody who's your exact same age, who came from the exact same hometown as you, could have a completely different life. And a lot of people that we know do. Like so many people's lives look
Yeah,
so different than ours, and even our lives look
look very
different.
different.
Um,
Well, I think it'll
so
help seeing as many people and watching like other people that maybe obviously aren't like our best friends because we're our best friends um go through this will help because there'll be a day where one of us gets married and the other one isn't.
mm-hmm.
And same with the family concept of like someone's going to be first and someone's going to be second, and there's not a wrong or a right, but seeing what that looks like, I think will go better because we'll have gone through it a couple times with other people.
For sure.
Not that it won't be tough, but
For
we'll
sure.
we'll manage it. Okay, my last one for things that I learned in my 20s is have your own vision and morals and stick to them.
That's good. I
And
like that.
that's kind of been a more recent one. Um, but I think there'll be times, and it's through this 10 years of kind of learning, you'll be asked to do something, or you'll, be asked to go to something, um, and you're like, I don't think that's really me. And it could be as simple as like, I don't want to be seen doing that. I don't want to be around those type of people. And then also there's things, I think in your 20s you realize I'm making decisions. There's a day where you decide I'm making decisions that only better me and my vision going forward. So it's not even saying that someone's asking me like go break the law, but like if my vision is to get, the next promotion at work, it probably means not going out all the time, so I'm not coming in the next day hungover or whatever that might be.
For sure.
You're guiding off of this bigger plan for yourself, and I know it's honestly hard to have a vision because I think your 20s again is figuring it out. But again, that's where you're like, you can change the vision, you can evolve the vision, but have something like a bigger picture you're working towards. Or I could see where you look back at 29 and think, oh, this was a hot mess. I was figuring it out. And maybe it still is to an extent, but at least you started to take steps to
start somewhere
you were wanting to get to, of like, even if it's like, like I'll be honest about one of mine. Like I do at one point in time want to get married, which means I have to date. And it's not something like the past year and a half I've really prioritized. So it's something that, it's May, we're about halfway through the year. And have I gone on a date? No.
Yeah. And of course you can't get married if you don't go on dates to find your person. So
right.
Putting yourself pushing yourself to go outside your comfort zone to meet the end goal is definitely important.
Right. Same thing with, I think about people that I've known over, particularly at work. It's like, oh, their goal is to either get promoted or have a different title or make more money. But they're the ones that leave at 5 o'clock every day. They're the ones that call out sick. They're the ones that, there's an excuse for this or that. And it's like, to me, that's not aligning with your vision.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices in the moment in order to like contribute to the bigger picture.
Right.
And that doesn't mean it has to be any crazy huge sacrifices that you have to like completely change your life, but
yeah, that doesn't mean you don't have boundaries, and that doesn't mean you don't do things for yourself, but like
for sure, but small things here and there.
Yeah, don't be influenced by others too much that you lose sight of who you are.
I love that. That's great.
Period.
Is that it? I think that's it.
I think that is.
Alrighty. Should we get on to the weekly BBB before we wrap up?
Yes.
Weekly BBB, if you're new here, is a segment that we do every single week. It's our beep, our bop, and our boop. Our beep is somewhere we went. Our bop is something we've been listening to. And our boop is just a random wild card. So let's kick it off with the beep. I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
My beep, which I already talked about this, so it's kind of anticlimactic, is that I went to the movies for a little girls' night this weekend.
Love.
So that was my beep, and I've really been into the movies lately. I think I'm going to become an AMC A-lister. So
if anyone wants to come with right now,
I've just been loving it. So that was my beep. It was very fun.
So what's the deal on the AMC A-lister?
I don't know. You pay like a certain amount a month, and you get to go to the movies whenever you want.
I know. I saw something where you get to go 4 times a week. And it's like, I couldn't see 4 movies.
I mean, I don't know if I would go that often, but if you think about it, like, I don't know how much this monthly thing is.
If you go to 1 a week, it pays for itself.
Exactly.
Or
that was going to be my point.
Maybe not 1 a week.
I don't know if you get any perks. Like, do I get discounts on the snacks? Because if so, then that would be great. I haven't looked at the details, but
okay, well, maybe report back next time.
Yeah.
Okay, my beep was I went today to Super Target, and let me just tell you,
Okay.
Nothing hits like a
Like a super Target. I don't
Yeah.
know if I've been, and if I have, it's been years.
It's ginormous. They have a lot more stock of things, I find. I also find that they're cleaner because they have to be.
Yeah.
And I didn't spend that much money either, but like I will drive to have the experience of shopping at a super Target.
I'm jealous. I love Target, and I just can't think of the last time I went to a super Target.
Well, they're
Truthfully,
making some of the regular Targets too small, in my
super.
opinion.
Oh, they're making them too small. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
certain ones don't have
that's
all the bibs and bobs.
that's true. The Target that I go to is kind of small because it's like in the middle of the city, and it's like in the parking garage situation.
Yep.
It's a pain. It's a real pain. But the other one is
Yeah.
way further, so I normally don't go to it. But yeah, no, I agree. Make
Yeah.
Targets bigger.
Yeah. Well, not bigger than the super Target. I think we're good. But
Right. Keep it at the super.
like if a Target was a Walmart size.
Yeah.
That's basically what the
Yeah.
super Target is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my bop, and I hate this. I don't even want to be saying this right now, and I have
Will you
not
want the
even
house tour?
no
Yeah.
no, but it's low key just as annoying. I'm putting this on here not because I've gone on my phone and pressed play, but because I cannot escape this freaking song. I open TikTok, there it is. I open Instagram, there it is.
Watch it be a song I really like.
I'm in Target, there it is. You probably do like this song, TBH. And I don't say that I don't like it. I just have heard it 50,000 freaking times against my will that I have beef. And that's going to be Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson. Have you heard that song?
Yeah, I have.
And another midnight sun. Yeah. I have heard that so many freaking times. I basically know all the words, and I've never listened to the song actually on my own accord. So, I mean, she's great. I'm not saying she's not talented or that she doesn't have the vocals in that song.
You know the concept of the Kia Asylum?
No, the what? No.
Who? Not to get derail us, but basically, obviously, Zara Larsson has been around forever. She's singing Throughout My Life, which we're obsessed with.
Yes.
There's this concept of like certain artists have like a one-hit wonder or like will produce stuff, but they're not popular, so they are in the Kia Asylum, and she has made it out of the Kia Asylum. Yes, with this song. Oh
yeah. That's exactly what's happening. So that's my bop against my will.
No hate, no shade, but it's not my favorite thing out there at the moment.
For sure.
I get it. Okay, my bop. I'm surprised we haven't talked about this either.
Taylor Swift?
But no. Ariana Grande is releasing a new album.
Oh, you're so right. She totally is.
And so I kind of went back around and I was like, let me bring up the files, because it's been a long time since I've listened to her newer stuff like all the way through. And so I've just been listening to her in general, but like I put on Eternal Sunshine the other day and I was like, I never got into this album, and then I played it and I was like, wait, I actually was into all this.
I love Eternal Sunshine.
I was like, it's so good. Like she's got so many bangers on there.
So freaking good. I love that album.
Yeah, I'm kind of back in my Ari era.
I love that. I cannot wait for her album. I
remember I was at work and I saw it was released. I was like, y'all see this? And everyone was like, no. And I was like, you're not giving what I need.
They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. They're not the girls that get it. They're not.
No, they're not. Good. Period.
Oh my gosh.
Ariana Grande.
I love that. Last but not least, my boop for the week. This is a great boop, actually. This is probably the best one I've had yet. And that is that I went to dinner, or I didn't go to dinner. I went to pick up dinner from this restaurant, this new restaurant in Charlotte. And the people who were in line in front of me paid for my food.
Yes. Which, tell me about this.
It's the nicest thing ever. I was in line with these people, and they were a couple who's probably the same age as my parents. And we were just chatting about life. They were telling me that like they have kids my age, blah, 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 blah. Just talking about random stuff. And we were even chatting like through the line as we were ordering. We were just chat. And then we get to the counter and they're like, let me pay for your food. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys really don't need to do that. And they're like, no, we want to do a kind gesture. Like you're just so nice. We want to pay for your food. Like, let us. And it was just the nicest thing ever. I haven't had like something like that happen with a stranger in a while, if ever. And it was very sweet and inspired me to do something nice for a stranger myself.
I know. I think it really takes you off guard. And we kind of talked about this the other day when we were having our body conversation, but like your words, your actions, like to strangers, like really can make someone's day.
Yes, 100%.
Whether it's monetary or not, but like that was so nice of them.
So nice.
And just like for you to even have the conversation, there's so many people in our age group that like can't and don't socialize like that, especially with people that like clearly are recent empty nesters, like probably miss some of like their kids depending on where they live. So like I'm sure your company was so appreciated, especially if you're gonna wait in line anyway. Might as well, you know, have a little banter.
Yeah, no, it was so sweet. I love that couple. I don't know who they are, but I love them, so shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. My boop is yesterday I got to do my favorite thing, even though it came with its consequences. I did get to read by the pool yesterday.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That's really it. That's it.
And see you guys next week. Bye. No, this girl needs to understand what SPF is, and that's really all I'm going to say. We've already had a conversation offline. I sound like a corporate person. Let's talk about this offline.
I did get a lecture,
but yeah, no, sunscreen's your best friend, and that's
it
really
is, and I know better. But I am my happiest, and you know, yesterday I had some things I wanted to do, and because it was Mother's Day, these local places I wanted to go were closed.
They were closed, yeah.
And so I was like, how am I going to turn my day around? So I was like, you know, the UV is at 7, which is high enough to get a tan. Let me get out. And I was just saying last week, and I do think I've already gotten prettier because I'm a little color. I got to wear my darker foundation.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because your face is the color of the freaking record button on the screen.
Yes. So I did get burnt.
Oh my gosh.
I would say it's a rookie move, but I just thought I was better than I was.
You thought you were better than the sun. You thought you were better than Mother Nature.
Yeah. But nothing just puts me more at peace than that. So, we're going to hope this sinks in. So that way,
turns into a nice glowy tan.
Maybe not this next weekend, but the weekend after I could maybe be back out there.
For sure.
And I'll wear my SPF.
Yes, thank you.
It's funny, I took 3 different bottles down.
Didn't use a single drop of any of them.
Not until it's too late.
Yeah, right. Damage is already done.
Yeah, might as well do it. If the UV is over 5, should put it on. So that really wraps everything up.
Yeah, that was good. Like and subscribe.
Exactly. Yeah, you should do the outro this time.
Oh, okay. Like and subscribe because this is good. Yeah. Stay tuned next week to see and hear about all the Ken and Hannah adventures. Yeah, we will be together and we will be filming in the same room. So you don't want to miss it. Yeah.
Special app dropping next week. Big things coming.
Big things are cooking in the works. We can't tell you what they are yet. No, I'm kidding.
Because we don't know what they are.
Because we don't know what they are, but they're coming. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.